Why does every boba stand suddenly turn into a petting zoo the second you set up at a school fundraiser? You did not sign up to referee a golden retriever and a sticky toddler near a propane burner, but here we are. Pickup areas are basically the danger zone of your whole event setup, way more than the actual cooking line. You have hot liquids, dry ice, blenders, and cash moving fast, which is exactly the spot where a curious kid or an off-leash pup should not be hanging around. Here's the thing nobody tells new vendors. Signage is not about being rude. It is about liability and speed. A simple sign that says, "Please keep children and pets at arm's length from this station," does more legal and safety work than you would think. Think of your sign like a bouncer at a club. It does not yell, it just exists and somehow everyone listens to it. You want clean, short language, no paragraphs, because parents skimming a sign while chasing a toddler will only read about 5 words anyway. You also want the sign placed at eye level for adults, not taped low like you're trying to warn the children directly. Eye level for grown-ups means the message actually reaches the person responsible for the small human or the leash. Now, let us talk about the polite enforcement part, because this is where vendors either look professional or look like they're having a meltdown over lemonade. The trick is redirecting, not scolding, so instead of saying, "Hey, get your dog back," you say something like, "Hey friend, we keep furry friends about 6 feet back so nobody gets bumped by hot cups." That tiny script works like magic because it sounds like you are protecting the dog, not punishing the owner. Same energy works for kids. You say something like, "We love the energy, just keep our little helper here behind the rope so the hot stuff stays far from those tiny hands." A lot of vendors think a sign alone will do the job, but signs are more like seatbelts. They help, but you still need a human checking that people are buckled in. That is why smart vendors station themselves slightly angled toward the crowd, so they can see wandering toddlers before the toddler sees the dry ice fog and decides it looks like a video game power-up. Speaking of dry ice, that stuff is basically 1984 levels of mysterious to a 5-year-old. Smoke pouring out of a cup sounds like a magic trick, not a hazard. That mystique is exactly why you need a physical boundary, a rope, a cone, even a row of cute branded buckets. Anything that says "do not enter" without sounding like a prison yard. Vendors who skip boundaries often deal with more incidents, not because people are careless on purpose, but because excitement turns off common sense, especially in kids under the age of 10. It is not a flaw in humanity, it is just brain development. The frontal lobe is basically still in beta testing at that age. Here's a fun twist though. Pets are sometimes the bigger risk. Not because dogs are reckless, but because owners assume their pet is the one exception to every rule ever written. This is the same energy as someone saying, "I am a great driver" right before they reverse into a parked truck. Confidence does not equal safety. Insurance companies actually love seeing vendors who use clear signage and consistent boundaries because it shows you reduced risk on purpose instead of just hoping nothing bad happens. Some vendors even snap a quick photo of their setup with signage visible, just in case they ever need proof during a claim discussion. The biggest lesson here is that boundaries are not about being unfriendly. They are about making sure your stand stays open, your customers stay safe, and your dry ice show stays magical instead of becoming a trip to urgent care. A calm sign and a kind reminder almost always beats an awkward confrontation happening in front of 40 strangers holding boba. If you want more tips like this for running a smoother, safer event vendor setup, check out our links in the description. Want to learn more about our company?